Good day, guys. Today we're going to look at solving some linear equations. What we're going to first do is, you see this equation that's written right here, we're going to look to collect the like terms. Terms are what you see right here. This is a term, the 3. This is also a term, which is a 10. This equal to sign is very powerful. It's a fulcrum. That means whatever's on this side is the same as what's on this side. Okay? So this is a coefficient, a variable. We all know that this is an operator or an operation. There are only 4 operations in math: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So this operation, it tells us what we're going to do when we solve these. So I guess at that point, let's just get right into it. So to solve this first, I'm going to try to see if I can get these 2 terms to simplify these 2 terms. So to simplify this, we're going to use what's called a balance equation, just like we said about a balance with our equal to sign. So to balance this, if I have a plus 3, I want to take away 3 or subtract 3. So what I do to one side, subtract 3, I must also do to the other side of the equal to sign, subtract 3. So that leaves me with 2x is equal to, because I've taken this away, and 10 minus 3 is 7. So now I look at this. If I have a coefficient and a variable with this pushed together like that, that means I am multiplying. So the inverse to multiplication is division. So to get that to be by itself, I can divide this side, by 2. This gives me x. And what I do to this side, I'm going to divide this side by 2. I can kind of leave it at 7 over 2, or I can equal 2 goes into 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times. So 3.5 or 3.5. So x is equal to 3.5. Okay? Let's look at the second part, when we have division already set like this. So if this is a positive 2, just like we did up top here, if this is a positive 2, what do we have to do to take it away, or to balance it off? We're going to subtract 2. So this is going to give me, if I subtract 2 from this side, to balance, I have to subtract 2 from this side. So this gives me x over 2 is equal to 8. So that being said, if this means to divide, because you see this symbol right here, this means divide. So if this means to divide, the inverse of division is multiplication. So I multiply this side by 2 to get this just to be x. And what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I'll multiply this side also by 2. So x is equal to 16. What I would also suggest is you can always go back in and just to prove that your answer is right. So 2 times 3.5, you should get 7, and then you add 3, and you end up getting 10. The same thing on this side. If this is 16 divided by 2, 16 divided by 2 gives me 8 plus 2 is 10. You can always go back on your paper to make sure that you have it proved correctly. For that section, I want you to try 20 questions. Try that out. You're going to go to 13A. You're going to do questions 1A. You're going to do A through T. The questions will be sent to you. I hope you've had a lot of success with that. If not, please email me. I'm at the same email address, stephencoddington, yes, I know it's long, at victoria.pool.sch.uk. I think that's it. All good. All right, let's look at the next section I want you to try out. This has to do with brackets. There's 2 different ways of doing it. I'm going to show you one way, because I want to show you that one way. If you don't have very much success with that, I will show you another way. I just don't want to confuse anyone by showing you 2 different ways. Rather show you just one way for now, and then if you want to find out the other way, it would be very beneficial that you know both. But if you want to find out the other way, I can show you how to do that. I can do that independently, or I can add it to a different video if that's best for you. Okay, let's look at doing this by multiplying. So what I'll do for this side, I can say I want to multiply out these this bracket. So I'm going to say 5 by x gives me 5x. 5 times 3 gives me a positive 15. Equals, I've only multiplied what's in the brackets, equals 25. So now that simply takes me right back to what we've just done. So you can go and solve this. And how do we solve that? We say, okay, what's on this side is a positive 15. So to eliminate that, I'll say I'm going to subtract 15. And I'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to subtract 15. So let's see what we have left. 5x, that's the beginning of that. That's been eliminated. Is equal to, what's 25 subtract 15? Gives me 10. So then that leaves me with a coefficient and a variable. That means I've multiplied, and so this I have to simply divide by 5, and what I do to one side I must do to the other. Divide by 5. So this just leaves me with x. Some people say just 1x, but the fact of the matter is just x, because if 1x is x, so we've got x is equal to 2. How do we prove that it's right? Let's plug it in. So if this x was 2, it would be 2 plus 3 gives you 5. And whatever's inside the bracket, you have to multiply by 5. So 5 times 5 gives you a product of 25. So now I want you to have a go. And you're going to work on 13B. You're going to do numbers 1, A through J. That's only 10 questions, A through J. Have a go. Okay guys, now we're looking at solving variables with, solving equations with variables on either side. Okay? So, to do that first, remember we had to do things like collecting like terms. You did that maybe, at least for the people that came up from on this year, you would have done that with Angus a little while ago. And for the guys that's been with me from last year, you should remember how collecting like terms. For example, we have 5x, that's a term, 3x, that's a term. Let's put those terms together, and then we'll have 8x's, wouldn't we? If we put all the terms together. However, because we have an equal to sign, it's going to change things slightly, because we have to take one side and balance it to the other. Well, that being said, let's get to it. So, we have 5x on this side, we have the 3x on this side. If I take something from this side and I bring it across this way, that means this now, because there's nothing in front of it, that means it's a positive. So now this has to be a minus 3x. So if I take away 3x's from this side, I have to do the same thing to this side, because I need to balance this out. So if I have to take away 3x's on this side, and this leaves me with 2x. Again, I had 3x on this side. I'm trying to get all my terms together. I bring it across. So that means I have to eliminate this, and then what I take from this side, I have to also take from this side. You have to have it balanced, okay? On this side, we have a positive 4. So my 4 goes with my 10, the same type of term. So I have to simply take away 4. If I take 4 from this side, I have to take 4 from the other side. So this will then leave me, on this side I got 2x, that's been eliminated, is equal to, so what's that going to be? 6. So now we're to a point where we can really manage this. So if I have 2x is equal to 6, I need to simply get x by itself. Let's get rid of this coefficient. So this coefficient pushed together means I've multiplied. So the inverse of multiplication is division. Divide that by 2, I get x. Again, what I do to one side, I must do to the other. If I divide this by 2, x is equal to 3. Can we solve it? What's 5 times 3? 15. Plus 4 gives me 19. What's 3 times 3? 9. Plus 10 gives me 19. what's on this side is equal to what's on that side. Does it work? Yes. Have we proved it? Yes. So we know x is equal to 3. Let's look at the other one. Now you will notice let's look at this one. You notice on this one, the 5 axis on this side is bigger than the 3 axis on this side. On this one I have 2 axis, and this is 6 axis. If I bring it over this way, I then will get a negative number. Can you solve it that way? Yes. But let me try to see if I make it a lot easier for you, so you don't have to worry about trying to get into negative numbers and integers and all that. So let's just try to see if we can solve it by simply repositioning the question, and it doesn't change the value or the outcome. Okay? So let's look at this. I'm going to take this 6x and I'm going to put it on this side. I'm just going to rewrite the question. 6x minus 5 is equal to 2x plus 3. Now, could I have left it the other way? Again, yes. But what I've done, I've made it so that when I get everything on one side, it still becomes a positive number. It's easier for us to work with. That's all. Okay? So, let's look at doing that. Collecting the like terms. I have 2 axes on that side. I want to get them onto that side, so I have to, if this is a positive, well, it is a positive 2. It's going to be a negative 2 now for me to get rid of it. So it eliminates it, if you will. So I have to take away 2 axes from this side. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So this becomes 4x. If this is a minus 5, sorry, this is a positive 3, I'm going to take away 3 from this side. That means I have to take away 3 from this side. That's eliminated. And this is going to, and this is going to be, I'm going to take 5. Apologies, go back, let's take 5. Let's add 5, sorry. So this ends up being eliminated, and this is going to add 5 to this side. I apologize for that, and that's going to give me 8. Because I did one thing to one side, I want to try to get one part on either side. So I hope you understood that. Let me just go back through that. So we've reversed these around, and then this ended up being a minus 2 from this side, and I subtracted 2 from this side to get me 4x. So because I've eliminated this side, I needed something on the other side of this equal to sign. So instead of me taking away, the 3, I added the 5 to this side. I added 5, and so negative 5 plus 5 gives me 0. So I added 5 to this side to then give myself 5 plus 3 gives me 8. 5 plus 3 gave me 8. So now I'm left, like I did up here, I'm left with a simple equation for me to solve. Okay? So, with that being said, if I see the 4 axes together here, this means I had to multiply, so the inverse is divide. So I divide this side by 4, which gives me x. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. Divide this side by 4. So x, 4 goes to 8, 2 times. X is equal to 2. Let's prove it. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3, 7. 6 times 2 is 12, minus 5 gives me 7. Okay? So that solves it. Hopefully that didn't mess with you too much, because I don't want you to be confused. Again, if you have any problems, any issues, please do not contact to send me the email. You have the email address, and I'll be back to you within at least 24 hours. As you know, sometimes I'm not always in Perkins, so sometimes I'm in a different classroom, so I will get back to you as early as I can. Again, that's what we're going to start for these 3, and hopefully that these 3 types of equations that will get you through this week, and then next week we'll look at how to build on from there, because it gets a little bit harder, a little bit more difficult, but that's what the challenge is all about. Okay guys, have a great week.